Listen, let me tell you a story about a man called Marcus. Big, strong Marcus. The kind of man who walked around the village like he owned the ground beneath his feet. But by the time I finish this story, you will laugh because the same Marcus who made everyone afraid. He would soon become the most henpecked husband in the entire village. But wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me start from the beginning. Marcus married his first wife, Grace, when he was 25 years old. On their wedding day, everybody clapped and danced. Marcus smiled like a man who had won the lottery. Grace was beautiful, quiet, and respectful. Her parents trained her well. She could cook, she could clean, and she never talked back to elders. Marcus's chest swelled with pride. Finally, he thought, a woman who would obey him without question. But that smile on Marcus's face, it disappeared faster than free food at a village meeting. One evening, Grace served him his dinner. The soup was warm. The fufu was soft. Everything was perfect. But Marcus tasted it, and his face squeezed up like he had bitten a lemon. Grace, this soup is cold. Cold like ice. Are you trying to poison me? Poor Grace's hand started shaking. I'm sorry, my husband. Let me warm it for you now. Warm it? You should have brought it hot from the beginning. Do I look like a man who eats cold food? Hey, am I a beggar? Now, let me tell you something. The soup was not cold at all. It was just not boiling hot. But Marcus liked to find problems where there were none. If the food was too hot, he will complain. Too cold, he will complain. Just right, he will still find something to complain about. Maybe the plate was dirty. Maybe she served it with her left hand. Maybe the moon was not shining bright enough. Anything. Everything. That night he slapped Grace for the first time just like that. Her offense-cold soup that was not even cold. Grace cried quietly in the corner while Marcus ate his dinner and belched loudly satisfied. This became the pattern of their marriage. Marcus would find a reason, any reason, to raise his hand on her. The other villagers heard Grace's cries at night, but they turned their faces away. It's between husband and wife. We cannot interfere in people's marriages. The village women would see Grace at the stream with bruises on her arms, and they would shake their heads and whisper. But nobody did anything. Not her parents, not the elders, nobody. They all believed that a husband had the right to discipline his wife however he wanted. For 7 long years, Grace suffered. She became thin like a broomstick. Her eyes lost their shine. She stopped laughing. She stopped talking. She just existed, moving through life like a ghost. Every day she woke up, cooked, cleaned, and hoped that maybe today Marcus will be in a good mood. But good moods were rare in Marcus's house. Then one night after Marcus had beaten her particularly badly, Grace went to sleep and never woke up. Just like that, her body simply gave up. The village herbalist examined her and shook his head sadly. Her spirit left. He said she was tired of suffering. Now you would think that Marcus would feel guilty, right? Wrong. This man cried at the funeral like he had lost the love of his life. Tears rolling down his cheeks like rain. Oscar-winning performance. I tell you, the villagers who didn't know the truth felt sorry for him. Poor Marcus. He loved his wife so much. If only they knew. Marcus buried Grace and observed the mourning period. But in his mind, he was already planning. He waited exactly 3 months. Then he began looking for wife number 2. This time he told himself he would be smarter. He would find a woman from far away, someone who had not heard the stories about Grace. He traveled to a neighboring village, and that's where he found Patricia with her smooth skin and gentle smile. She was 22 years old, fresh, innocent-looking with eyes that stayed on the ground when men spoke to her. Perfect. Marcus thought this one will give me no trouble. Patricia's father was a poor farmer who was happy to receive Marcus's bride price. My daughter is very obedient, he told Marcus proudly. She never argues, never raises her voice. She will make you a good wife. Marcus smiled. Excellent, he thought. Another quiet one. The wedding was small and simple. Patricia moved into Marcus's house with her few belongings, and from day one, she was a perfect wife. She woke up before dawn to prepare breakfast. The house was always clean. His clothes were always washed and ironed. When he spoke, she listened with her head bowed. When he shouted, she trembled. When he raised his hand as if to strike her, she flinched and cowered. Marcus was very pleased with himself. Finally, a wife who knew her place. He would trot around the village, chest puffed out, telling other men, "You see, the secret is to establish authority from the beginning. Let them know who is the head of the house. My new wife, she doesn't even breathe without my permission." The other men would nod and laugh, some jealous of how obedient Patricia seemed. 6 months passed like this. Marcus became more and more comfortable. He became careless. He started treating Patricia the way he had treated Grace, thinking she would just accept it. He shouted at her. He threw food on the floor if it didn't please him. He started raising his hand threateningly. But Patricia never cried. She just watched him with those quiet eyes. What Marcus didn't know was that Patricia was not what she appeared to be. You see, Patricia had done her homework before agreeing to marry Marcus. She had asked questions. She had traveled to Marcus's village before the wedding and talked to the women at the market. She heard every single story about Grace, how she suffered, how she died, everything. Patricia could have refused a marriage, but she didn't. Instead, she made a plan. She would marry this wicked man and teach him a lesson he would never forget. Her obedience was just an act. Her fear was fake. All those months she was studying him like a student preparing for an exam, learning his habits, his weaknesses, his pride, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. That moment came on a Tuesday morning 6 months after the wedding. Marcus woke up that morning expecting his breakfast on the table as usual. But when he entered the kitchen, there was no food, nothing. The pots were cold. The table was empty. His anger rose like hot water boiling over. He stormed into the bedroom where Patricia was still lying in bed, calm as you please, reading a book. "Patricia, where's my food? Have you gone mad? Do you want to die?" Patricia slowly closed her book. She looked up at him with a small smile on her face. "Oh, Marcus, good morning. Did you need something?" Marcus's mouth fell open. Did she just speak to him like that casually, like he was nobody? What kind of stupid question is that? "Where's my breakfast?" Patricia yawned and stretched. "Oh, that. Well, I was tired this morning, so I decided to sleep in. If you are hungry, the kitchen is right there. You have 2 hands, don't you?" For a moment, Marcus just stood there, frozen in shock. Then his face turned red with rage. You useless woman. I will beat the nonsense out of you." He launched toward her, his massive hand raised high. But Patricia was ready. In one swift movement, she rolled off the bed, grabbed his extended arm, and twisted it behind his back with surprising strength. Before Marcus knew what was happening, his face was pressed against the floor, his arm bent at an uncomfortable angle. "Let me go. Let me go, you witch!" Marcus screamed, but he couldn't move. Patricia's grip was like iron. "Witch!" Patricia's voice was calm, almost cheerful. "No, my dear husband, not a witch, just a woman who knows how to defend herself. You see, before I married you, I visited your village. I asked about your first wife, Grace. I heard everything, every beating, every scream. How she died because of your wicked hands." Marcus's blood ran cold. You knew. "Oh, yes, I knew everything, and I decided something. I decided that you needed to learn a lesson. So I married you. I pretended to be afraid. I pretended to be weak. But I was just waiting for you to try your nonsense with me." She pressed his face harder against the floor. "Now let me tell you how things will work in this house from now on. You will cook. You will clean. You will wash my clothes. You will fetch water. And you will do everything I say when I say it. If you refuse, I will go to the village elders and tell them everything about how Grace died. I have witnesses. I have evidence. They will chase you out of this village, and you will have nothing. Nothing. You can't do this." Marcus gasped, his pride wounded more than his arm. "Oh, I can't." Patricia laughed and finally released him. Marcus scrambled away from her, panting, confused. His world turned upside down. From that day forward, everything changed in Marcus's house. That same morning, Patricia sat leisurely while Marcus, with shaking hand, prepared breakfast for the first time in his life. He burnt the beans. The tea was too bitter, but Patricia made him eat it himself and start again. By afternoon, the news had spread through the village like wildfire. People passing by Marcus's compound stopped and stared. Big, strong Marcus was kneeling by the washing stone, scrubbing his wife's clothes. Marcus, who used to beat his wife for cold soup, was now the one being ordered around. "Marcus," one of his friends called out, laughing, "is that you washing clothes like a woman?" Marcus's face burnt with shame, but he dared not stop. Patricia was sitting right there watching him like a hawk. "Mind your business." Patricia called out sharply to the friend, "My husband is helping me today. Is there a problem with a man helping his wife?" The friend quickly walked away, but the laughter followed him down the road. Over the next few weeks, Marcus tried several times to rebel. One morning he refused to fetch water. "I am a man. Men don't fetch water." Patricia just smiled that calm smile. "Oh, you're a man now. Is that the same man who beat a defenseless woman for 7 years? Is that the same man who killed his wife with his wickedness? That kind of man." Marcus's mouth opened and closed like a fish. "Fetch the water," Patricia said softly, "or I will visit the village square this afternoon and tell everyone what kind of man you really are." Marcus fetched the water. He fetched it every day after that. Another time he tried to hit her again. Big mistake. Patricia didn't just defend herself. She actually chased him around the compound with a broom, beating him on his backside while he ran like a scared goat. The neighbors heard the commotion and came out to watch. They couldn't believe their eyes. Marcus the Terrible was running away from his small wife. "Please, please, I'm sorry." Marcus screamed as he ran. "Sorry, you're sorry now. Where was this sorry? When Grace was begging you." Whack! The broom landed on his back. One old woman watching from her compound slapped her knee and laughed so hard she nearly fell over. "Ah, this is better than the cinema. Marcus has finally met his match." From that day, Marcus gave up completely. He accepted his new role in the house. Every morning he woke up before Patricia to prepare her breakfast. He made sure the house was spotless. He washed her clothes and ironed them carefully. At meal times he served her first and ate only after she was satisfied. The village watched in amazement. This was the same Marcus, the proud man who used to strut around like a peacock. Now he walked with his head down, humble as a church mouse. The women of the village especially enjoyed this turn of events. They would gather at the stream just to watch Marcus washing clothes. "Marcus, how is married life treating you?" They would call out giggling. Marcus would mumble something and scrub harder. One day, Mama Gloria, the oldest woman in the village, came to visit Patricia. She found her relaxing under the mango tree while Marcus swept the compound. "My daughter," Mama Gloria said, settling down beside Patricia. "I have lived for 75 years, and I have never seen anything like this. How did you do it?" Patricia smiled. "Mama, it's simple. Bullies are cowards at heart. Marcus was brave only when he faced people weaker than him. But when he met someone who could match his strength, he crumbled like old bread. But my day, are you not afraid he will get his courage back someday and try to harm you?" Patricia shook her head. "No, Mama. I broke something inside him that can never be fixed. His pride. And without his pride, Marcus is nothing. Besides, I remind him every day that I have people watching. If anything happens to me, the whole village will know who did it." Mama Gloria nodded approvingly. "You are a wise woman. I just wish someone had done this for Grace. That's why I am doing it now, Mama. For Grace. For every woman who suffered and had no one to defend her. Marcus will live the rest of his life knowing what it feels like to be powerless, to be afraid, to serve someone else without question. It's only fair as the months turned into years. Marcus transformed completely. His muscles became soft from doing housework instead of farm work. His hands, once used for violence, became gentle from washing delicate clothes. His voice, once loud and commanding, became quiet and meek. The village youth would sometimes tease him, "Uncle Marcus, can you teach us how to be strong like you?" Then they would laugh and run away. But Marcus never responded. He had learned his lesson well. Too well, perhaps. One evening as the sun was setting, Marcus was returning from the stream with a bucket of water balanced on his head. He walked carefully, trying not to spill a drop because Patricia had warned him that if he wasted water, he would have to make the trip again. He passed by the compound where he used to gather with other men, drinking palm wine and boasting about how they control their wives. Now those same men sat there watching him with amused smirks. "Ah, Marcus, come and join us," one of them called out mockingly. "He can't. His wife might punish him." "Right, Marcus?" They all burst out laughing. Marcus kept walking, his face burning with shame, but his mouth shut tight. What could he say? It was all true. When he got home, Patricia was sitting on the veranda sewing a dress. She looked up as he approached. "You are back. Good. Pour the water in the big pot, then start preparing dinner. I want rice and stew tonight." "Yes, my wife," Marcus said quietly and went to do as he was told. Patricia watched him shuffle into the kitchen. She felt a small pang of something. Not quite pity, but close. Marcus looked so defeated, so broken. Had she gone too far? But then she remembered Grace, sweet, gentle Grace who had never hurt anyone in her life. Grace who died with bruises on her body and fear in her heart. Grace who never got justice. No, Patricia decided she had not gone too far. If anything, Marcus was getting exactly what he deserved. He was alive, wasn't he? He was healthy. He just had to work hard and obey rules. That's all. Nothing he hadn't forced Grace to do. Except Patricia had added one thing. Dignity. Even as Marcus served her, she never beat him. She never starved him. She never truly hurt him. She just made him understand what it felt like to be powerless. Years passed. Marcus became known throughout the region as that man whose wife controls him completely. Travelers passing through the village would hear the story, and some would even detour just to see if it was true. And there he would be, Marcus, the obedient husband, hanging clothes on the line or grinding pepper in the mortar. The story spread far and wide. In neighboring villages, mothers would tell their daughters, "Be like Patricia. Don't let any man think he can mistreat you." And they would tell their sons, "Treat women well or you might end up like Marcus." As for Patricia, she lived peacefully. She never had to raise her hand against Marcus again after that first day. The threat was enough. She started a small business selling clothes in the market and became quite successful. Marcus, of course, did all the housework so she could focus on her business. Sometimes late at night when the village was quiet, Marcus would lie on his mat on the floor. Yes, Patricia had the bed to herself, and wonder how his life had come to this. He who used to be feared was now a joke. He who used to be served now served, all because he had thought himself superior to women, all because he had believed that power gave him the right to hurt others. If he could go back in time, would he change? Would he treat Grace better? The truth is, we'll never know because Marcus never spoke about it. He just continued his days cooking, cleaning, obeying, a living example of what happens when a bully finally meets his match. Patricia would sometimes visit Grace's grave and place flowers there. "I did it. Sister," she would whisper, "I made him pay." Rest well. The village elders who had once ignored Grace's suffering now looked at Patricia with a mixture of fear and respect. She had done what they failed to do. She had brought justice even if it was served cold. So remember this story. Remember Marcus, who wanted a quiet wife but married his match instead. Remember that strength is not about who can hit harder, but about who can stand up when everyone else stays silent. Remember that pride goes before a fall. And sometimes that fall is straight into a bucket of soapy water with clothes to wash. And if you ever meet someone like Marcus, someone who thinks power means controlling others through fear, just smile and tell them this story. Tell them about the man who thought he was a lion but turned out to be just an overgrown house cat. If you enjoyed this story, hit subscribe and join the community before Patricia catches you peeping and gives you house chores, too.